Whenever someone I meet finds out I work in the video game industry, I'm always asked what my favourite games are. I always feel like I should answer with something profound, whatever that means in this context, and so I get a little embarrassed when my default answer is Pokémon. But I mean, it's not a lie. Ever since I got this copy of Pokémon Yellow 20 years ago, I've been completely enamored with this series, and I don't know, somehow I don't think I'm the only one who feels this way. But I don't just love the old games. I've been very slowly making my way through Pokémon Scarlet, and I've been having a great time. My husband Andy loves Pokémon too. In fact, he's been really engaged in the competitive scenes since around Gen 5. When I first saw this trophy in his room, I thought, wow, I finally found one of those rare boys who plays video games. Marry me. I mean, who else am I ever going to meet who's willing to spend an evening doing this together? This year was the first time where he both qualified for the World Championships and had the time and money to travel to it, so we decided to go on a little Pokémon-themed holiday. The Pokémon World Championship is an invite-only event for the top qualifying players of 4 of the game series: the trading card game, Pokémon Go, Pokémon Unite, and the main video game, which is what Andy competes in. This is not the kind of thing I would normally vlog since it isn't directly related to my work. But a lot of my peers in the games industry actually weren't aware that Pokémon is an esport. So I thought it would be interesting to share what the event was actually like, from my perspective as a spectator and casual player. You can go to Andy's Twitter account or the official Pokémon YouTube channel to get a more in-depth look at the matches themselves. This video is just going to be all about the vibes. We had a direct flight from Melbourne and it was a really funny experience because everyone on the plane was travelling for Pokémon, so people were actually walking around and socialising the entire flight. Not really my cup of tea, but you know, each to their own. Once we landed and settled in, we went for a walk around town and checked out the Hilton Resort and the Hawaii Convention Center. These were the 2 venues the event was spread across. We could see the beginnings of worlds happening all over town. Every second person we passed was wearing something Pokémon related, and heaps of stores had Pokémon themed signs out the front. It was all very surreal. Also, we were blown away with just how beautiful the island is, and couldn't wait to explore more throughout the week. Kind of a random side note, but I was on a bit of a Facebook Marketplace hustle the week before leaving, so not even 3 hours after landing, I had gotten myself a copy of Kirby Air Ride for GameCube, which is a game that's impossible to find cheap at home for some reason. So, all in all, good first day. The next day was Thursday, which was, I guess, technically the first day. The competition was set to begin on Friday, but at the resort they had begun a bunch of side events that were open to the public, mostly cute things for families to do. First thing we wanted to do was pick up our badges and get that out of the way, because we knew there would be a long wait. I don't really care about having to queue, but at one point I was absolutely losing it because this group of 10 cut in front of us. So when they got distracted by this Pikachu display, we used that moment to cut back in front of them. Yeah, it's pretty petty, but you know, I felt very vindicated in the moment. So we got our badges. Andy got a competitor badge and I got a spectator badge. These are the badges you need if you actually wanted to go into the convention center during the event.
It doesn't have pronouns, but mine does. It's so random.
No, that's really weird. Maybe mine didn't set or something and it just defaults to that. I don't know. I swear I did.
Because Andy was competing, we were given one of the extremely coveted competitor kits. This is a bag they give out every year that's full of items you can't buy in store that are exclusive to that year's competition.
Okay, inside the competitor kit. 1 Ponk. 1... Oh, it's a shirt?
Oh, another one?
No,
or
it's
is
the
that the
same
one they
one
gave
I
us?
Pretty sure this is a playmat. Cap. Screen cleaner. That tells you the type matchups.
Oh my god, we are not selling this. That's amazing.
Deck sleeves. A little handbag.
Oh.
Yo, they got the competitive badge. And a double deck box.
Wow.
I think that's everything. And then obviously the bag itself.
Wow, it's so cute. Later that day, we made our way to the convention center again for an appointment at a little place called the Pokémon Center. You couldn't just rock up and do some shopping. You actually had to book a time slot a few months in advance. We were both really excited to check out the Pokémon Center and hopefully get some cool exclusive merch, but honestly, this experience was maybe the most stressful part of the trip. There were a lot of posts online the night before about the store being completely wiped of stock by the first attendants allowed in. And when we arrived at the convention center, we saw that there was this sort of black market situation going on outside, where people who had already been in the store were selling the stock at a higher price. I'm surprised this was even allowed. Like, it wasn't subtle at all, it was a whole operation happening. I was kind of in a bad mood after seeing all the scalpers, and then we had to wait over an hour in literally a car park in the heat. The vibes were very bad in this queue, but you know, it was no fault of the staff or anything, and I'm sure it couldn't be helped. By the time we were getting close to the entrance, I got so excited because there was one of those Pikachu mascot costumes taking photos with people, and I've never had the opportunity to get a photo of one, so this would have made the queuing experience worth the wait. But I kid you not, as it was coming up to my turn to get a photo with Pikachu, he went on his fucking lunch break.
Pikachu's leaving right as we get to the photo op. Dude. Oh my god. Please come back. No, Pikachu's leaving. Pikachu's going on break right as I get there.
I was so unreasonably upset about this, and the first thought that came to my mind was maybe this is karma for cutting in front of that group of 10 earlier that day. This is what I get for sinning, I guess. Once we actually got into the Pokémon Center, I mean, it was great. No issues, honestly. I'll just let the clips I took do the talking.
Okay, I wanted a Zimmerol. Yay! Yay, they still got one. Yes! Yay, yay,
It's
yay,
so
yay,
fine.
yay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
That's like the only world-specific stuff I wanted. Come in.
Yay! The pencil case is quite cute. Alright, now that we're in, it's actually fine. I can just sort of browse, you know. Use large. That would fit me. This is so cute. I caught a shiny one of these on the way.
I don't see if there's anything Miraidon related. I can't find anything.
Oh, that sucks. The reindeer. Did you see the tatsugiri on the sushi platter?
Yeah, it's cute, eh?
Yeah.
We just got it.
This is a very cute poster, but I think I'll leave it.
You know, in my mind, when I was recording this at the time, I thought that the clips I was taking were really clear and comprehensible. But watching this back, this is just dizzying. I can't tell what's going on, so you know what? We're just going to leave the Pokémon Center footage at that. I hope you enjoyed.
So that's all our bad luck for the weekend done now.
Yeah, the stressful part's over. Now you just have to compete.
No, it's okay. I'm going to hit all my moves. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
On Friday morning, we made our way to the convention center for the beginnings of the competition, and walking into the expo hall was one of many moments where I just couldn't believe the scale of this event. You telling me that every single person in this room likes Pokemon as much as us? The excitement in the air was truly contagious. Sadly, we didn't get in early enough to get a good view of the opening ceremony, but I squeezed my way through just enough to get a glimpse of Tsunekazu Ishihara welcoming everyone. So that was kind of cool. After the ceremony, it was time for everyone to start gaming. The hall was split into different sections for all 4 games, as well as a huge stage and seating area for spectators. Andy went to the VGC section and started his first round, and since I couldn't really watch him play, we split off for a bit. Outside the main hall, there are a bunch of different things inside the convention center for people to see and do, so I went and had a good look around. The first place I went to was the World's History Museum, which looked back on the history of the event since it started in 2004. It was originally just a competition for the trading card game, and only opened up to the video game in 2009 thanks to the Gen 4 games. I especially enjoyed seeing all of the different branding that they've done over the years. You can actually buy these World Champion TCG sets in normal retail stores, and here I'm pointing at the 2007 set because I actually got this back in the day at Big W, and I'm pretty certain I still have the cards in box, even though they're probably trashed by now.
Yeah, isn't it good?
Yes, awesome.
I love it. I love the low poly.
It's amazing.
Look, I got this one as well.
Okay, you out here.
Do I have another? Oh yeah, I've got one more.
I'm always such a sucker for the displays of the old games and consoles. I don't know. Call it my special interest, if you will.
Oh, where's Crystal? They forgot Crystal.
My next stop was the vendors hall, which was mostly local card vendors. I have no interest in collecting cards personally, but it was nice to have a look around and go, wow, that costs so much money at everything. Last but not least was the gallery of this year's finalists for the TCG illustration contest. I was seriously regretting not entering this year after looking at all of these entries up close. It seems like it's really hard to get in though, like, I've seen so many amazing entries not make it to this round, so it's really hard to figure out exactly what the criteria is. I met back up with Andy in the late afternoon, and he and his friends had unfortunately been knocked out of the competition, but they still all performed terrifically. This is a really difficult game to do well in competitively, and I think the fact that Andy got invited here and won 3 rounds is amazing, so we weren't feeling sad about it at all. The cool thing about this game is that it doesn't have a toxic energy like some esports have. We went out for dinner that night and there was no disappointment in the air. Everyone was just really determined to do better next season, which I think is just so cool.
Established in 1996, Pokémon quickly picked up steam to the point it's become one of the largest media conglomerates in the world.
There's this one item that I'm really trying to get. It's the Pikachu ukulele, and it's so hard to get. I've been trying to get into the Pokémon Center all morning. I really pray for me, you guys. Pray for me that I try to get the Pokémon ukulele.
I'm rooting for him.
I am obsessed with him.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Adorable.
And he's not even competing. He's just here.
So what have you learned from doing this tour?
So Greg Lau, who shot that, and then I put it together. Between the two of us, we know nothing about Pokemon. And I still don't, but it's fun.
But it's
a culture.
fun. It's a way of life. It truly is for a lot of people.
Pokemon, by the way, stand for Pokemonster, so that's
Yes,
what they are.
Pocket Monsters,
They're Pocket Monsters, which is
Pokemonsters.
I mean, God bless them. They're having a great time.
We had a bit of a rager on Friday night, and I needed a little break from the convention center on Saturday. So while Andy went in, I had a little day to myself in Waikiki. Then we met up later to watch the VGC semi-finals. Just as a side note, the VGC was the only game I was engaged in, but as you can see, the competitions for the other categories were happening simultaneously on the stage. Later on, as the sun was setting, we headed out to the beach for maybe my favourite part of the whole week. I never thought I would ever have anything remarkable to say about a drone show. The beach was completely packed and everyone was cheering. Like, it felt like going to the beach on New Year's Eve to watch fireworks, but this was even better than that because it was Pokémon! Then it was Sunday, the last day of Worlds. The finals for the VGC competition weren't starting until late afternoon, so in the meantime Andy decided to enter a side tournament where you could win points and exchange them for prizes. We really wanted this Pikachu rug because it reminded us of Nene, but it was gone by this point in the weekend, so he used his points to pick up a few cute gifts for friends and family. Meanwhile, I decided to do the stamp rally that was happening back at the resort. This ended up being a terrible idea. No fault of Pokemon, but just because I was walking around in the sun for literally hours trying to find all these stamps. I don't know why I struggled so much with this. Like, it's not meant to be hard. It's meant to be nice and fun. Why did I make it such a drama? I haven't even mentioned it yet, but it was extremely hot and sunny every day in Hawaii, and I was not being mindful of this as I was hiking around. I ended up getting a bit of a heat stroke, and I felt pretty sick for a couple of hours after. The prize for completing the stamp rally was a bumper sticker that they were giving out for free anyway, so I felt like a real clown for slaving away in the heat for nothing. But I guess at least I got to see all these cool extra little pop-ups that were happening around town. Anyway, after all that, it was time to settle in and watch the VGC finals. The hall was completely packed because this was the last event for the entire weekend, and the closing ceremony would be happening right after. It was so freaking epic watching these final rounds. It was like we were all at the Indigo Plateau about to watch the next champion be crowned, which I know is corny, but I mean it's also kind of true though. Sadly, my phone and my camera died during the final matches, but it was so much fun. As soon as the Masters division ended, the winner actually dived off the stage into his group of friends, which was just so sweet, and we felt really happy for him. After the ceremony had all wrapped up, it was time for the closing ceremony, and this was great. Even though they didn't announce anything that was super exciting for us, the energy in the room was so positive that we still got really into it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This trip was really indulgent, I feel, but it was a really special experience for us, especially to break up what has been a pretty rough year. I hope it's also shown how fun the competitive Pokemon scene is, and I really hope we can go to Worlds again, though, I don't know. I'd personally be fine to skip the next 2 California ones. I have a few more videos I'd like to get done this year. I'm actually going to Japan tomorrow, and that trip is actually for work, so I'm hoping to share a bit of that too. I actually haven't packed yet for my trip tomorrow, so I'm gonna leave it at that.